Hey everyone, this is an updated version of a video that I made a while back. How to make Fallout 4 look and feel like Fallout New Vegas on Xbox One. That video was received pretty well, but some unfortunate things happened. The two foundation mods to that video were removed by the mod authors, rendering that video pretty much useless. Those mods, if you're curious, were Dust Bowl Overhaul and Dead Skies. A lot of people have asked me to make an updated video, and in perfect timing, the mod Desperados Overhaul by Spiffy Skytrooper has just come out. This is exactly what we needed to make this video possible, and hopefully this video will stay relevant for many years to come. As always, all mods featured in the video will be in the video description below, with links and timestamps so you can easily find them. I will also provide a load order in the pinned comment for you to reference. Also, please be sure to refer to that pinned comment for any additional information pertaining to the video, like mods that couldn't fit in the description, updates, mods that didn't make the cut, or anything else important. This video will be for Xbox One since this isn't possible on PS4, and some of these mods will require DLC, including the most important one. Lastly, if you saw the old New Vegas video, you'll notice some repeat mods, but this is an updated version of that video after all, although there are way more mods in this video for what I think is a largely upgraded load order. Also, there's some super important information towards the end of the video regarding performance, load order management, and storage optimization, so please be sure to watch that. So all of that out of the way, let's get started. As usual, we will start with creating the environment, and the first most important mod we're going to use is Desperados Overhaul. This is the replacement of Dust Bowl Overhaul. Although it may appear somewhat similar, this mod is nearly entirely different from the ground up on the technical side, so we will have a largely improved mod when it comes down to how the mod operates on the technical level. However, it doesn't stop there. Desperados utilizes vastly improved assets and even provides various light regions. For instance, the marsh and glowing sea have been converted to a desert pine forest, the northern foothills contains mostly saguaro cacti, and the Fort Hagen area is mostly Joshua trees. Things like this really break the mod up so it's not just a sea of sand with some cacti, and really brings the environment to life and represents a more realistic touch. There's also several of these little surprise areas that the author made, like the gallows setup you're seeing here. I'm only going to show you one, so the rest you'll have to find on your own, but these areas are really cool and interesting and make this mod super immersive. A good way to complement Desperados Overhaul is to use realistic roads, black asphalt. This mod simply makes the roads around the Commonwealth much darker, more like they appeared in New Vegas and Fallout 3. The vanilla roads were really washed out looking, which can look good sometimes, but when trying to recreate New Vegas, I think this mod is a must-have. The difference is super clear, and honestly, I prefer this look even when not trying to make New Vegas and Fallout 4. Overall, this is a great addition. Next up is weather. Now, the last time we did this video, we used Dead Skies, but like I said, that mod is no longer available, so instead we're going to use natural and atmospheric Commonwealth. Obviously, there are many different weather mods that are out there that you can use, but I personally like this one the most for this. Upon downloading the mod, you'll get a welcome pop-up almost right away like you're seeing on screen. Just click NAC holotape, then launch default NAC climate, then click yes. It doesn't really matter here because we're going to change this. Then, open up the NAC holotape, scroll down to climate settings, choose summer, then click yes. Then within 12 in-game hours, the new climate will start to come in. The second thing we're going to do is turn off the glowing sea weathers, because those didn't exist then. And you can also disable other weathers too, like overcast if you want, which I actually recommend disabling every type of weather except for sunny weather variants and light rain, but it's up to you. But just like that, our environment is looking pretty New Vegas-like. The best part about this mod is that there are tons, and I mean tons, of customizable options in the holotape. You can adjust interior and exterior brightness, various color levels, saturation, color shades, exposure, activate or deactivate basically every single type of weather, and much, much more to give you exactly what you want. So feel free to mess around with the settings to make your vision come to life. So now that the environment is set up, it's time to get into the other mods that really tie this whole thing together. A good place to start is Radio New Vegas. We used this mod last time, but for those who don't know, it's a radio mod that brings back tons of the New Vegas classic tracks that we all loved. Tracks like Big Iron, Going Under, Heartaches by the Number, Jingle Jangle Jingle, Blue Moon, and so many more are all brought back. And for some reason, the author states on the mod's page that the mod is currently broken, but I literally just tested it and it's working fine, at least as of right now. So I'm not too sure what the deal is with that. Maybe the author just forgot to update the page after fixing it. I don't know. Another great radio mod is Tumbleweed Tunes. This is an excellent Western radio station hosted by a guy named Dusty Dude. The station plays a bunch of really nice Western slide guitar and bluesy style Western songs, and the host even tells you some stories about his time with the NCR and his various other adventures. The songs are all super good and absolutely perfect for a Fallout playthrough, creating an on the Western road kind of atmosphere. It's much different than Radio New Vegas, but in a good way. I can't play any of the radios for you on here because I'm not sure what kind of copyright issues I'd run into, but I can assure you that these are solid radio stations that will enhance your New Vegas playthrough. Next up is Fallout 3 NV Feral Ghouls Replacer. This is a very cool mod that aims to make the Feral Ghouls look more like they did in the previous Fallout games, and it does that extremely well. The author included multiple hand-sculpted variants of the ghouls for extra variety and even full dismemberment for realism. Overall, this is a great mod for New Vegas accuracy. Next is Craftable Ammunition. This is a great mod that has shown up in several of my videos, including the old New Vegas one. This mod allows us to craft ammo like you could in New Vegas, something that Fallout 4 missed out on. All you have to do is go into the settlement building menu and build the reloading workbench. This mod seems to be the most accurate when trying trying to emulate the way New Vegas did it, so I decided to go with this one. Although if you find it confusing, there are many different mods out there that do this, but are much easier to use. Now normally I find myself having enough ammo to where I don't even need to craft my own, but at least the option is there if you feel like doing it. Plus it's kind of fun. Loads of ammo, switchable ammunition types is a good follow-up. This mod allows us to be able to make and switch ammunition types like you could in New Vegas. The mod adds new ammo types for nearly every gun from the ammunition workbench in your settlement building menu. For example, you can now have armor-piercing rounds, explosive rounds, tracer rounds, and more. I like using this with craftable ammunition because you can craft your ammo with the reloading workbench, then create the new ammo with the ammunition workbench. You can also add these rounds to the leveled list with the mod Loads of Ammo Leveled Lists. It's just the extension which adds the new ammo to the leveled lists, so now you can buy the new ammo from vendors or even be shot at with it. Silent Protagonist is a mod that mutes the highly controversial voiced player. I know a lot of people weren't happy when Fallout 4 decided to give a voice to the main character, because I know a lot of people like to make up their own, or they find that a voice breaks the immersion. So this mod helps remedy that and brings things back to the way they were. It's a very simple mod, but if a voiced player bothers you, then you might find this useful. A good follow-up to that is Full Dialogue Interface. This is another one of those mods that I've featured many times. This mod displays all of the text that your character will say just like it used to in the old Fallout games. So instead of displaying like a half sentence or even just like one word like the vanilla game did, which I thought was completely unacceptable, you'll actually be able to read everything and get to think about what options you want to choose. This is one of those permanent installs for me, and when trying to make New Vegas and Fallout 4, this is a must-have. Another mod that I've used numerous times is Timestopping VATS. This is an important one because in the old Fallout games, VATS completely stopped time instead of it being in slow motion like it was in Fallout 4. And to be honest, when they did the whole slow motion thing, it actually kind of bothered me. I felt the slow-mo VATS broke immersion and disrupted the RPG aspect, because I like to pick and choose where my character shoots without feeling rushed, and in Fallout 4, I felt everything was just that, rushed and too shootery, which has its place in time, but not all the time, and this mod fixes that. The only quirk you'll see with this mod is that every once in a while when you enter VATS, the enemies will slide in whatever direction they were moving in. They don't slide all that far and they can't hurt you, but this is something you'll notice with this mod on occasion, but it's really not a big deal, and to me it's totally worth using, not just for a New Vegas recreation, but for any playthrough in general. Fallout 3 style Pip-Boy comes in next. I know the title says Fallout 3 style, but I think the color in the mod is closer to the New Vegas Pip-Boy's color than the Fallout 4 one is. Now this is not a replacement, like this doesn't put the old Pip-Boy into the game, but what it does is change the color to a darker gray like it used to be. One of my favorite parts is the addition of the horizontal lines on the Pip-Boy screen. It really makes it look genuine. The retexture even shows in third person and is just an overall well-made mod, and I definitely recommend playing with it if you like it, because being a Pip-Boy mod, it's something you're going to see all the time. And while we're here, another tiny detail to make sure to hit on is to change your HUD and Pip-Boy color to a yellow amber color like it was in New Vegas. It's a tiny detail, but it makes all the difference. Wasteland Imports is next, and it's a great mod that seamlessly integrates some of those iconic items from the previous Fallout games that Fallout 4 really missed out on. Some of the New Vegas items to note are items like Sunset Sarsaparilla, Dynamite, or NCR money, but those are just a few of the many items to come back. I really like this mod, and if you're looking to create New Vegas and Fallout 4, it's a great option. So the next segment of mods is basically a 4-mod package, and of course I recommend using all 4 because they all work together. And we will start off with Minutemen NCR Overhaul armor. This is a cool mod that replaces the Minutemen's clothing with NCR armor, making it feel like the NCR has ventured into the Commonwealth. This requires the following mod NCR Patrolman and Trooper armors. This mod not only makes the previous mod possible, but it also allows us to craft some cool NCR armor at your chem bench. It all looks pretty nice, and I think it's an excellent addition. On top of that, a great mod to add in here is Minutemen service rifles. This mod gives all Minutemen around the Commonwealth a service rifle like the NCR had in New Vegas. This requires the mod service rifle to work. The service rifle is great because this allows the previous mod to function, and you'll be able to use a high quality gun that looks great, runs great, and has tons of excellent modifications. With this package of mods, your Minutemen will be fully dressed up like the NCR, which really makes this start to feel like New Vegas. NCR Veteran Ranger Armor. Enough said. Okay, I'm kidding, but seriously though, you just cannot go wrong with this mod. It's such an iconic set of armor from New Vegas. Upon downloading the mod, you won't have the armor in your inventory right away because the sets are hidden around the Commonwealth. I won't spoil it for you, but on the mods page you can find exact directions on where to find them. The sets of armor look fantastic, and if you're going to choose any of these armors or clothing mods, do yourself a favor and make it this one. Benny's suit from New Vegas is up, and this allows us to craft that silly checkered suit that Benny wore in New Vegas at our chem bench. It's a nice looking mod, certainly not anything game changing, but if you like that suit, well then you might like this mod. New Vegas Stealth Suit is next. It's a recreation of the Mark II stealth suit from the New Vegas add-on Old World Blues. The suit is very well made, and there's even a little quest to go along with it. You can make this armor at your chem station, so it's super easy to obtain, and it's pretty cool. The Chinese stealth suit is next, and it's like the previous mod. I think in nature they're actually similar pieces of armor, and I'm just getting this straight from the Fallout fandom's wiki page, that they think these suits were dismantled and reverse engineered to make the Mark II stealth suit we just looked at. And to be honest, I'm not super familiar with these pieces of armor, but regardless, they're in New Vegas, and they're both well made as mods. You'll have to find this armor as it's hidden around the Commonwealth, but I suggest going to the mods page and watching the YouTube video that's linked there because I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure if I would have found this on my own. The last armor and clothing mod featured will be Courier Duster. It's a mod that brings the Courier Duster from the Lonesome Road add-on back into the Commonwealth. It's a nice piece of clothing that can be crafted at your chem bench and features over 18 decals to choose from, and various other modifications. It's a nicely done mod. Alright, the next mod is a companion mod, and it's Ed E the Eyebot. This is an awesome mod that brings back the robotic companion Ed E. You can find him at the gas station in Nahant. I always liked traveling with the Eyebot in New Vegas, and if you did too, you can now bring him along for an adventure in Fallout 4. So the next several mods are really tiny mods that honestly don't add a whole lot to the game, but if we want to make a recreation of New Vegas in Fallout 4, I think it's important to be as accurate as possible. First up is Gore Bags. Literally all this mod does is rename those super mutant meat bags back to Gore Bags, as they were in Fallout 3 in New Vegas. Like I said, really tiny mods here, but we're not messing around. The next mod is Drinkable Toilets. This is the most important mod in the entire video. Oh, you thought Desperados Overhaul was a big deal? Well, this mod allows us to drink from toilets like we could in Fallout 3 in New Vegas. Yeah, big time game changer here. Brahmin Tipper is next, and it brings back the option to tip the Brahmin like you could in the old Fallouts. When sneaking near a Brahmin unarmed, you'll be able to push them over, and according to the mod description under version 1.3, there's a 1 in 1,000 chance that the Brahmin will explode if you have the Bloody Mess perk. I haven't been lucky enough to make that happen, but maybe you'll have better luck than me. In Fallout 4, a lot of things changed, and one of those changes were Nuka-Cola bottles. They were turned into little rocket-shaped glasses, which are kinda cool, but with the mod Nuka-Cola Classic, the Nuka-Cola bottles go back into being in the shape of normal bottles like they used to be. Not only that, but the author even thought to change billboards and advertisements to feature the updated bottle. It's good thinking and a great small detail mod to conclude this category. Next is an animation mod called Double Action Revolver Reanimation. This changes the way the revolver animations operate, because in the vanilla game, every time you would take out a 44, your character would spin the cylinder, which I guess is kind of cool sometimes, but more often than not I found it pretty obnoxious. This mod changes that. Now your character will just quickly check the cylinder and be ready to go. The mod doesn't support third-person animations, but that's not a big deal. To me, this offers a more Western gunslinger feeling, and for that it's a great addition for a Fallout New Vegas playthrough. The next two mods are settlement mods. I didn't go crazy with these because settlement building wasn't a thing then, but I thought these were pretty cool to just add a little more. First is Not Your Average Neon. This is actually a really cool mod. It adds 17 new neon signs and various types of neon alphabet letters into the game to give your settlement a slice of the New Vegas Strip. The signs are well done and will definitely spice up your settlement if you enjoy building. The second and last settlement mod is New Vegas Waving Flagpoles. This mod adds 9 New Vegas faction flagpoles. They're all nicely made and just add that tiny touch to make all the difference. The last mod featured before we get into a ridiculously long list of guns is the Wild Wasteland. This is totally optional, and to quote from the mods page, quote, "I've added items and references throughout the Commonwealth for you to find. From collectible trinkets to legacy weapons or even just a unique critter or NPC to stumble upon, this mod has got them." End quote. There's new locations, NPCs, encounters, weapons, Easter eggs, and more. It's a very interesting mod if you want to be in for a bit of a surprise every now and again. Just know the file size for this is pretty big, so just keep that in mind. Alright, we made it. The end of the video. Like I normally do, I will just verbally list guns and showcase them on screen while doing it. The reason I do this is because ultimately, guns are really your call, and secondly, it would take another 8 or 9 minutes at least to showcase all of the guns I'm about to list. So in the interest of time, I will quickly just read the list. And of course, all of these guns will be linked for you in the video description or pinned comment so you can take a look at what you want to use. But all of these weapons come from New Vegas, and incorporating some of them will definitely enhance your playthrough. Alright, deep breath. China Lake and Hollow Rifle, Classic Super Sledge, Service Rifle, Colt Python, Grease Gun, New Vegas Uniques Pack, 9mm Pistol, Bullpup Bozar, Caravan Shotgun, Hunting Shotgun, Sig Sauer, Colt 1911, Laser RCW, Riot Shotgun, Lever Shotgun, Bumper Sword, Murdering Chainsaw, Catalyst Shotgun, That Gun, DKS, Gauss Rifle, 10mm SMG, Layer, M79 Grenade Launcher, M1 Grand, Bar, and Classic Deathclaw Gauntlet. If you know of any weapons I forgot, feel free to comment down below. Also, FYI, there's this pretty cool work in progress mod called New Vegas Weapons. From what I can tell, it's not done yet and still has a long way to go, but it might be worth checking in on. It's supposed to add a bunch of New Vegas guns into Fallout 4 that are all leveled list integrated. Shout out to Winged Angel 94 on my Discord for finding that one. Okay, so before we end the video, I want to make it clear that you will not be able to fit every single one of these mods plus all of the guns in the 2GB storage limit. It's just not possible. I will expand on this further in the pinned comment, so be sure to read that for more info regarding the storage situation with this load order. There you will find tips and tricks on how to best optimize this load order and what mods to be sure to use or not use for the best storage to mod ratio. But if I had to choose 3 guns to be super sure to use, I would recommend using the Colt Python because, you know, Big Iron, the service rifle that we had mentioned earlier, and the lever action shotgun, but that's just my opinion. The other thing I want to talk about is FPS in downtown Boston. Things can get pretty choppy with this load order. Although that said, there are a few things that we can do to help. What I recommend doing here is using the mod Boston FPS Fix 1 in Boston, as well as Disable Lens Flare, Disable God Rays, and Reduced Grass Density Full. These mods won't be showcased individually, but as you can see on screen here, the difference with and without them is quite noticeable. This will make the game far more playable when in the city. However, some vanilla trees will come back due to how Boston FPS Fix works. works, but that's a small price to pay for improved performance. Be aware though that between Boston FPS Fix and Desperados, it will run you something like 1.5 of the 2GB limit. This does mean that you will need to sacrifice some other mods though during these times, so I will be providing you with 2 load orders in the pinned comment, one for Boston and one for when not in Boston. I know this sounds crazy, but I really do recommend doing this to make this a far more enjoyable experience when in the city. I know this can be frustrating, but there's not much we can do. It's just the console struggle. If you don't want to download Boston FPS Fix, the alternative would just be to simply disable Desperados Overhaul when in Boston. That way you won't have to mess around with the load order as much. It's really your call what you want to do here, but realistically, those are the only options if you want the city running smoothly. But I felt like I needed to bring this up to make you all aware of this because I didn't think it would have been fair to make this video without at least talking about it. So that will do it for making Fallout 4 look and feel like Fallout New Vegas. Take 2. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, leave a like as it's an easy way to show support, and be sure to subscribe for more content just like this. If you feel as though I forgot any mods, whether it be guns, gameplay, environmental, or whatever, feel free to leave a comment with the mod and I'll for sure take a look at it and add it into the list and give you credit. Again, please be sure to refer to the pinned comment for the load order and any other additional information that might be important to the video like updates, mods that couldn't fit in the description, honorable mentions, or anything else. And like always, if you have any ideas for future videos, just let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to save the idea and perhaps make a video out of it. And of course, give you credit in the video. See you next time. Thanks for watching.